So everybody has been talking about Barbie and Oppenheimer because they both came out on the 21st of July. But I think people are forgetting that they cloned Tyrone came out on the same day.
Yes, and you can watch from the comfort of your home. It's currently streaming on Netflix, and we have a beautiful cast here. We have Jamie Foxx as Slick, we have Boyega as Fontaine, and Teyonah Parris as Yo-Yo, the sex worker here.
This movie is a science fiction and comedy, and funny enough, you know the story. When watching this movie, I could see how the story would go with a different cast, and I would have not enjoyed it so much.
The movie has a lot of reference to a lot of movies and books, like Nancy Drew, Scooby-Doo, and also Holo
and
SpongeBob references here. The movie just really draws from a lot of things, science fiction movies, but at the same time, it's really well put together. The movie follows this drug dealer in this neighborhood, Glen. Glen is a rundown neighborhood, pimps, sex workers, drugs, and it's dominated by African Americans. He follows this Fontaine who is living his normal life. Then he got shot when he went to go and meet Slick for his money. And now, surprisingly,
the next day,
he comes back to life.
Yes, and he doesn't have any memory of going to collect his money from Slick. And when he goes there, Slick is surprised, like, you were dead last night.
Saw you get shot.
He did not believe it. So they had to go and meet Yo-Yo, and she confirmed that, yes, he was dead. So the three of them embark on a journey.
This trio, this unprofessional trio, embark on unraveling the mystery of what's going on underneath their neighborhood. I know what was going to happen. They cloned Tyrone. It's such a fun title. And I could almost predict what will happen in this movie already. But it was such a fun watch. The comedy, everything was just well put together. This movie is directed by Joe Taylor. He said the idea of this movie started off as a joke, and it came to fruition in a very beautiful way. In my head, this movie was set in the 90s.
Yes, it just has that retro feel to it and
futuristic and present times.
Yes,
it was actually intentional. The director said he wanted to play on the minds of the people here.
When we started, I was trying to place the setting of the time, like early 2000s, 90s. It was just giving me a lot.
Dress is also set in 70s era too. We have 90s and we have present day, because they talk about blockchain, they talk about cryptocurrency, and it actually played with your mind. And you're seeing box TV, and you're like, okay, when is this set? There's smartphones in this movie. For people who might have watched this movie to the end and like, okay, what just happened? We don't really understand what went on here. The clone Tyrone, it had layers of meaning. Even John Boyega said after he saw the script, it was just like peeling onion. Like, the movie just really has a lot of layers to it, and it's actually really directed towards African American and how they are perceived in the society, and how people use power.
These government agencies, the only reason why they were doing it in this neighborhood is because they know that nobody wants to go and endanger their life in this particular neighborhood.
Impoverished places. And the leader here, so the time when he came and he expressed that they have to keep this neighborhood impoverished, so nobody gets to look into this neighborhood and see all the scientific things that's going on underground. And I've not seen Holo, but that's kind of like a reference to the movie. From what I read, that there's a scientist that's actually doing a lot of scientific experiments, so you kind of lose your humanity and everything just trying to do science. And when John Boyega met the original him, because he was cloned many times, when he met the original him, the man revealed that they're trying to say assimilation is better than annihilation. A lot of things just really play out in this movie. Trauma, because he lost his brother, so he decided to work with these people because of the pain of losing his brother. So he wanted to just stop the violence. Instead of killing my people, I'll try and make them as white as possible. So that was what the entire experiment was about. It just really unpacked a lot of things about the society, about mind control, about the abuse of power. I love the story. I really enjoyed it. The other thing that was weird to me in the story was when, at that end part, when John Boyega used the code word to control the other clone. I was like, what kind of thing is that one? The first time they used those words were for the clones. And it worked on everybody except Yo-Yo. How come that anybody can just use the words? Like, a fellow clone can use it on fellow clone?
I think it happens like that because I think it's just like a program in your head that, okay, when you hear like hypnotism, that when you hear this thing, you're supposed to do this and go for this thing.
Okay, that's true. Anyway, I like this movie. It was a fun watch for me. I enjoyed it. The movie ran for 2 hours plus, and to me, I would rate it a 4 out of 5.
I really enjoyed it. It was just a wonderful watch.